وسلم على رسوله الكريم أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لن تنالوا البر حتى تنفقوا مما تحبون وما تنفقوا من شيء فإن الله به عليم بارك الله لي ولكم في القرآن العظيم ونفعني وإياكم بالآيات والذكر الحكيم أستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المؤمنين واستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي رب يسر ولا تعسر وتمم بالخير وبك نستعين يا فتاح يا فتاح يا فتاح صدق الله العظيم وصدق رسوله النبي الكريم الأمين السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Alhamdulillah, it's a great blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He has given me and you the ability and tawfiq to participate in this gathering. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make this gathering a source of guidance for all of us. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make this gathering one of the means of our entry into Jannah. Inshallah, in tonight's brief session, I would like to share with you verse number 92 of Surah Ali Imran. And this is the first verse of the fourth juz of the Quran. The verse is a very well-known verse in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that لَن تَنَالُوا الْبِرَّ, you can never ever attain goodness حَتَّى تُنْفِقُوا مِمَّا تُحِبُّونَ, until and unless you spend from what you love. It's a very famous ayah. People talk about it all the time. But tonight, inshallah, I will only take 10 minutes of yours and I will only speak about two words that is mentioned in this ayah, which are the most beautiful words that I found in this ayah. And these words, and whatever I'm going to explain it to you, inshallah, in front of you, I've taken all of this from Allama Zamakhshari's Tafseer book. So the first word that I want to share with you is the word nala. The word nala that is used here, lan tanalul birra. The word nala here, in Arabic language, it means when you are traveling and you cannot wait to get to your destination. You know, when something becomes accessible, then you use the word nala. You know, the Arabs, they were familiar with this idea because they traveled in the desert and they were always desperate to get to their destination. Because in a desert, if you're not able to get to your destination, or if you're not being able to get to your destination, then obviously it can be lethal. You can lose your life because there is not much in desert for you to survive on. So this is what the word nala is. And the same thing is true of a sea voyage. You know, when you are out on the sea and you are traveling and you get lost and you don't get the direction and you don't remember the land where you're supposed to go, but the destination where you're supposed to go, where you're supposed to reach. Now obviously the supplies that you have, they are limited, especially the drinkable water that you have on the ship is limited. So in order to survive, you have to reach that island in a specific amount of time, but then you get lost. And you have no idea where you are going. And you cannot get to your destination. So the word nala is used here. Now we understand the word nala. Nala means surviving a journey. Or nala means that you reach your destination safely in time. That's what the word nala means. But what is really remarkable is the word that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions after the word nala. Now you have understood what nala means. Nala means surviving a journey or reaching your destination in time safely, right? So when you think about nala, the next word that Allah is using here is the word al-bir, which means goodness. But in Arabic language, there are other words for goodness as well. There are other words that are used for goodness. For example, al-khayr. Allah never used the word al-khayr here. Allah used the word al-bir. You know why Allah used the word al-bir here? Because the word al-bir is very close to the word al-bar. And bar in Arabic language, even in Urdu, probably the people who are sitting here, they know. Even in Urdu, the word bar means land. So when you think about nala, automatically what comes in your mind? A safe land. When you think about surviving a journey, automatically what comes in your mind? A safe land. A land in Arabic language is called bar, but Allah is using a very similar word here, bir, for goodness. Now this kind of thing, where you use similar kind of words in this kind of manner, it actually suggests that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants you to think of imagery. Allah wants you to think and imagine that you are out on the sea. And you know there is unstable water, storms are coming in, you are having seasickness, and you don't know when you are going to get to your destination. You don't know when you reach your island. And then, alhamdulillah, you reach your island and you feel safe. That safety, that island, is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us is al-bir. Al-bir. And Allah says, you can never reach that bir. You can never reach that safety. You know, when you reach an island, you say, alhamdulillah, it's safe, it's good. But being in a sin, being in the time of life when your life is not good, this is something when you are stuck on a sea. When you are being out on the sea and you're stuck and you're lost. This is what is when you are being in a sin. You know, you're going through this trouble in your life because you are in a sin and you don't know where to go, you are lost. So Allah says, لَن تَنَالُوا الْبِرَّ. You can never reach that safety. You are out on the sea, you are stuck, not stuck, but you are lost. You don't know where your destination is, and you can never reach your destination now. This is what Allah wants you to think about. So now this is the imagery that you have in your mind. And then Allah says, حَتَّى تُنْفِقُوا مِمَّا تُحِبُّونَ. Until you spend from what you love. You are stuck out on the sea, you are lost out on the sea, you can never reach your island, you can never reach your safety until and unless you spend from what you love. Allama al-Bakhshiri again mentions a beautiful example. He says, think about it again. You are on the sea, in a ship, your boat started leaking. Or your boat gets too heavy. It is carrying too much burden. Now in order for you to survive, what do you have to do? You have to get rid of excess. You have to drop excess. Allah says you can never reach your safety and you can never reach to that safe island until and unless you get rid of that excess. And that excess, maybe sometimes you're getting rid of the things that you really, really love. You're dropping things off the ship and these are the things that you love the most. But right now, because you are stuck and you need to survive, you will let go of those things. Because you want to survive. Allah says you can never reach your safety until and unless sometimes you let things go that you love. You are out on the sea, your boat is leaking, you want to drop some excess, and when you're dropping things off, these are the things that you really, really love, but now you're dropping them off. Why? Because you want to survive and you don't have any other option. Now, this does not mean that only giving charity to the masjid or to the mosque. You know, when you talk about this ayah, it doesn't only mean that you just give charity to the mosque. It means that sometime you might have to spend on the relatives that you don't like. Sometimes you might have to give up your luxuries that you have in your life, and you have to think about your neighbors. You have to think about the people who live around you, who are less fortunate, who are suffering. You have to think about it. And sometimes it means you have to give more and more the things that you love. Not the leftovers, not the second-hand things. Not the things that if someone give it to you, illa an tughmidu fi, you won't take it. The things that people are giving to you, you don't want to take it, but you are a beggar, so you don't have any other choice. So you would take it an tughmidu fi, but you will close your eyes before you take it. Not that stuff. Not that stuff. The things that you really love, the things that you want for yourself. You know when Eid comes or any other celebration comes, wedding ceremonies or any other celebration comes, we go and we shop. I don't know about other communities, Malaysian communities or Arab community, but we Pakistani people, we love to shop. I passed the test today and my wife is most excited because now I can take her to any mall I want to or any place that I want to. That she wants, not I want, she wants. Because they love to shop. Love to shop. So Eid is coming, they want to shop, they want to buy this shirt, these clothes, this jewelry, that jewelry. Whatever you want to buy for yourself. Same kind of thing that you want to buy yourself, you get that thing and then you give it in sadaqah. When you do that, Allah says, then you will reach safety. Allah says, then you will reach that safe island. Then you will have some sort of goodness. But until and unless you don't do that, you will never reach safety. Never ever. I was thinking about this ayah, and one thing that amazes me is that how beautifully Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala explains things. You know, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us that you think you are on a journey and everything that you need is on the ship and you are very happy and satisfied. But there is no guarantee. Maybe your ship starts leaking, maybe you get lost. Now in this kind of situation, the only thing you are thinking about is your own safety. So Allah says when it comes to this kind of situation, when you're only thinking about your safety, you can only reach to your safety and you can only protect or save yourself when you let go of the things that you really, really love. That's the hidden formula here. That's the thing here. When we let them go, you will save, you will reach al-bir. You will reach that island, you will reach that safety, you will attain that goodness. But you can never reach that safety unless you do that. And subhanAllah, the next part of the ayah is beautiful as well. وَمَا تُنْفِقُوا مِنْ شَيْءٍ فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ بِهِ عَلِيمٌ. Whatever you spend in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is a reminder for me first of all and then for all of you. Allah says, whatever you spend in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ بِهِ عَلِيمٌ. Allah knows it very well. So don't go out and announce to the people that I have spent something in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah already know what you did. Allah already. You don't need to hold every single person, grab every single person and tell them, I've done this. I've done this. Allah knows what you have done. You don't have to make an announcement. Keep it a secret between you and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Keep it a secret. It's not like we start posting on Facebook, I've donated my most favorite t-shirt to Ummah welfare. It doesn't make any sense. Allah says, وَمَا تُنْفِقُوا مِنْ شَيْءٍ فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ. Whatever you spend, I already know. And I know it very, very well. So keep it a secret between me and between you and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So I sincerely ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is a reminder which is very important for us because the month of Ramadan is coming. And in the month of Ramadan we give a lot of charity. And we give sadaqat and we give zakat. And we do a lot of stuff. But when we do a lot of stuff, make sure this is a part of my nature and probably this is a part of your nature as well, because we are human beings at the end of the day and we are weak. When it comes to spending in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we always take the things that we don't like. We always take the things that we are not using and then we put them in some kind of drum that we have outside, in Ummah welfare drum. These kinds of drums. Allah says, Ya ayyuhal ladhina amanu, another verse in Surah Al-Baqarah, أنفقوا من طيبات ما كسبتم ومما أخرجنا لكم من الأرض ولا تيمموا الخبيث. Make sure that whatever you are spending in the path of Allah, it's best and pure. It's best and pure. ولا تيمموا الخبيث. Don't you even think about khabith things, second-hand things, leftovers, the things that you don't like. And then Allah gives an example that if someone give it to you, وَلَسْتُمْ بِآخِذِهِ, you won't take it. Don't think about the things that if you give it to someone, don't think about the things that if someone else give it to you, you won't take it. إِلَّا أَن تُغْمِزُوا فِيهِ, unless you close your eyes. Beggar does not have a choice, but we do. So next time when we think about giving charity, just like I said in my Jummah's lecture today, going an extra mile, that's what Ramadan wants from us. Going an extra mile. Don't give something that is just convenient and comfortable. Give something that pricks you, that hurts you. One example that I was mentioning in my Jummah lecture today, I think it's a very relevant example, especially for a person like me. When you do a workout, I don't do workout, but I do some sort of exercise because I don't want my beauty to pop out. Because the day the beauty pops out, everyone starts saying that Maulvi Sahib is eating on the chanda of the mosque. So I don't want it to happen. So when you work out and you run every day for 30 minutes, and now you have been running for 30 minutes, every day you run for 30 minutes. After 3 years, 4 years, a point will come, not even after 3-4 hours, after 8 weeks, a point will come when this 30 minutes of running, it will not require any effort from you. It will become very natural for you. It will become a part of your body. It won't require any effort from you. On that point, any fitness expert, he will always tell you, okay, try to push yourself a little bit harder. Try to push yourself a little bit further. And this time you run for 35 minutes. And these extra 5 minutes that you are doing, this will do a job for you. This is what Ramadan wants from us. That in the month of Ramadan, we go extra mile. And that's why I shared this verse with you. We can never attain goodness. That's what we try to attain in the month of Ramadan. Allah says you can never attain goodness حَتَّى تُنْفِقُوا مِمَّا تُحِبُّونَ, until and unless you spend from what you love. And when you do it, then Allah says, inshallah, you will attain goodness. So inshallah, we are ready for this now, inshallah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grants understanding. It's not about the people who are millionaires and billionaires. It doesn't matter how much money you have. It's the intention, it's the ikhlas, it's the zeal and the desire that how much you are willing to give for the sake of Allah subhanahu. It can be 5 pounds. It can be 2 pounds. I remember the other day, a brother who was a very sincere brother, I don't want to mention his name, he comes here quite regularly. And he said this to me with a very sad heart. Don't think that he was trying to judge us. He said it with a very sad heart. He said that I've been praying here for almost 5 years. Every single Friday I come and pray here. And he said, once my friend who is a Sikh, he took me to his Gurdwara. Is there a Gurdwara, Mulana, in Edinburgh? Yeah. He took me to his Gurdwara. Gurdwara is a worshipping place of Sikh people. He said, we went there and they have the same donation box, just like we have it. He said, every single person who attended that congregation, when they were leaving, every single person donated £5. And it's not too much. If you think about it, in today's age and time, £5 is nothing. But he said, it really saddens me, it really makes my heart sad when I see people that they are putting their spare change in the money box of the mosque. And these people have a lot, mashallah. They are wealthy, well-off people and they can give a lot for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But they are just putting their spare change in the money box. And what I'm trying to say is that when we give for the sake of Allah, and we try to give the best in the best way possible, and we try to give the best thing, the things that we love. And inshallah, hopefully it will elevate our ranks in the hereafter, inshallah. So are we ready for this, inshallah? May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us from those who are abroad, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the ability that when we spend from the things that we love, and we spend the most pure and the most halal things. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us understanding, may Allah keep us united in this dunya.